Well, it happened. We got our first frost. Not just one, but two first frosts. And it all happened just like it was supposed to. I was thinking it was going to be late, but it wasn't. So I want to take you around and just show you how the garden fared and what's going on in the garden. It's kind of been a while since we did a real update, and we're starting to see some of the damages that happened. So just to go right out the gate, and I waited until later in the afternoon because a lot of times you won't see the damage at first. It takes time, as we'll see. But a lot of things did absolutely fine. You know, the rutabagas, the parsnips, these mustard type greens, they all did good. The Brussels sprouts, the broccoli is doing well. No real issues with any of that. And we didn't even cover it. So we didn't cover anything in our garden whatsoever. Truth be told, I was excited for the first frost. It's kind of this whole thing about the just being anxious about it and just not knowing when it's going to happen or, the next step. And our garden was prepared, but we have a plan for the rest of the year. And part of that plan required the frost to come. One thing was our fall tomatoes. We pulled those. They didn't really do that good. What happened here, and now that they're gone, it's really easy to talk about, right? If you go back into the beginning of the season when I planted my fall tomatoes, I had some older starts that I put out, and then I had some cuttings that I put out. The older starts did not do good at all, and I was kind of worried about that because they were determinate tomatoes. But I was like, you know what, we'll give it a shot. I always have leftover starts. Fall tomatoes are just fun. Doesn't matter to me if I get them or not. I could care less. So we put them in, and they didn't do good. They were determinants, so they were just so old that they just weren't going to produce. It happens. But the other ones did well. The only issue was this bed doesn't get a lot of sun. It does right now at this time of day, but generally speaking, it doesn't get a lot of sun this time of year. So they didn't do as good, but it's no big deal. Much to my surprise, I removed all of my peppers, and I had a couple left. So I harvested the other day. I came out before the frost, and I harvested probably about 20 of these peppers this size. So, and these are all the pepper plants. I just cut them down this morning, but I'm not seeing an insane amount of frost issues on those plants at all. But we wanted to go ahead and get it emptied out so we could get all the sun we could. You can see where the plants were shading these two cabbages. They're not going to grow, so we're probably going to end up removing those, but it just kind of worked out that way. And I was really happy to see, once we removed the pepper plants, how few weeds were underneath. I mean, there's a couple here and there, but for the most part, it's really good. So that was part of my plan this year, was to densely plant it so that we could be on top of our weeds earlier in the year. Really glad that worked out. So our Seminole pumpkin. So this is one that it just gets to a point where I'm just ready for it to go. So our Seminole pumpkin, you can see it got bit back a little bit here and there and then coming across, but otherwise the plant seems to be holding through. And it's weird. It's like right here, you can see this is obviously frost damage. So I don't know what's going on. I got to get that out of here. But I hesitate to pull up any of this really right now, because we could have 2 more weeks until another frost, and we have 75-degree days coming up. So it could very well bloom again and do its thing. And it's not hurting anything, or the damage is already done, really. I mean, it is taking over, but I see something interesting over here too we have to go look at. But I'm going to leave it for now. I am ready for that plant to get out of here, for sure. See something interesting over here? Apparently we have a ground cherry that popped up. This is, this would be a volunteer. And it has 0 damage from the frost. How interesting is that? And it's a fascinating thing. I have had multiple, and I'm sure a lot of you have, drop tomatoes, the seeds come up, and they start, and then you get a frost in the spring, and the seeds don't die. I've had that happen many, many times. So it's just interesting. We always think of tomatoes as being very, very delicate, when it comes to temperatures, but I think they may be a little bit more robust than we give them credit for. So we want this bed to be emptied out soon. I'm ready to get everything out of it, which really, to be honest, the only thing in it at this point is just the Seminole pumpkin. But I'm ready to get it out so I can chop up everything, redo the bed, get everything amended, and let it sit for about a month before we start replanting, or 2 months at this point. So we started that process over here, totally weeded it. All I did is I churned everything up. I pulled my water lines out, churned everything up. I'll give it a couple days, come back out, churn it up again. Anything that regrows, we'll just keep scratching it. But the plan for this, we have to empty our chicken house out, and we are going to put fresh manure in this bed, and then we're going to put fresh manure in this bed. And then once this bed empties out, which shouldn't be too terribly long, we're about to start digging into here. It should be at about a month. This bed will get manure in it, and then this bed will get some, and these beds, this bed will go as long as possible, and then this bed will get some in it too once the cabbages are done. And that's all going to be fresh manure put in there. We're hoping to get all of that done by Christmas. That's the goal, by the solstice. That's when we want to have it all done. So, and if you think about that, then it'll be a month with nothing in the beds. Let that manure cook down. We're emptying out our chicken house now, so we can pull it out, let it start to sit now, and so it'll start cooling naturally. And then we'll put it in, a month later. So that'll be, by the time we go to plant it, it should be about 3 months old, which is enough time for it to cool down a little bit, not be so hot in nitrogen. Another bed I've been working on is I emptied out this bed, and I've re-amended it. I think I showed you in a video. I can't remember off the top of my head, but either way, it does not have any manure in it because we're going to be putting garlic in here and onions very soon. So right now it just has fertilizer and then alfalfa pellets in there. And then I just re-scratched it today. Again, there was a couple weeds germinating. You can see like right here and stuff. So we just want them to get up on the surface like that so that they will die out. And then we'll scratch it one more time, and then we will plant our garlic in here. And that'll give us a good start. And then our onions will be back right behind it, probably like a week later. One thing I was worried about coming back to the broccoli were these heads that are forming. They did not get any damage. So that's very good. And they are nice and tightly packed. So everything is looking really good. We gave it some fertilizer the other day, and we're gonna fertilize these front 4 beds today. So we've got at least another week without any kind of frost. So that'll be perfect. And even though we got a frost, that stuff is perfect for this, man. These plants love it. So I should take you back and show you the chickens as well. Why not? I put in a whole bed's worth of vines for the watermelons the other day. I'm curious how much of that is actually left in the coop. Oh, well, kind of shocking. Nothing. You can see the remnants over here. Man, that rooster is huge, isn't he? But yeah, that's the remnants of it down there. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of dark back here. There, that should be a little bit better. So just to point out the difference, this chicken right here, the brown one, see how much bigger it is? That is a meat chicken. And then the other ones, see how small they are? They're all laying chickens. So it's crazy how much bigger they are. But she's actually not just a meat chicken. She's a hybrid, so she can do both. And they say it's inhumane to leave them for a long time, but at the same time, like, she seems to be doing okay. And because she's not just solely a meat bird, she's, we're gonna hold on to her as long as possible. We'll maybe harvest her in the spring, but I doubt it. Just let her live her life happy. Maybe we'll get some good eggs and get some more chickens out of these roosters here. They sure do talk enough. That time change got them, boy. I was getting up at 4:45 in the morning. Comment below what time you were getting up after the time change. I hate that shit, man. There is no point in it. I digress very rapidly. One other thing I gotta do, we've got our broccolis and stuff growing in the greenhouse. I didn't open it today because it was cool earlier, but I've got to clean the roof off. You can see that green sheen on it. I got to get the mildew and stuff off of it so we can get more sun in there. But come over here to the bees. Everything is looking pretty good over here. We're giving them their last little bits of food. We did have to take one hive and combine it with another, but everybody's got honey. Everybody's good to go, man. We're just letting it happen. You know what I mean? We got another farm up the road. And same thing, everybody's doing their thing. It's getting to be that time of year. The bees she won't be laying any eggs until right around the winter solstice, and then she'll kick back up. So for right now, it's just kind of smooth sailing, just feed and take care of them. But everything's going good on here. I'm super glad that the frost finally came. I hate winter, I hate the cold, but I just rather go ahead and get it done and then move on. And then we don't have to worry about it. So how's everything going in your gardens? How did you fare through your first frost?
Goodbye.